This is the guide for the Spelunky to Hell and Back achievement. Now this is going to be a pretty long video, so get your popcorn ready. First off, I want to talk about what you need to do to get to Hell. You're going to need to collect 50,000 gold. Now here I bought some bombs. I would advise buying anything that you need before you get to the black market, just because it's going to be cheaper. Now what I usually do is buy a bag of bombs before I get there. Not the small one, but the big one, because they're 10,000 here and they're 16,000 at the black market. So you should go ahead and just buy them here. You'll probably find enough gold. If you don't, then you're just going to have to restart. So it's no big deal. So the first step towards making it to Hell is finding the locked chest and the key. This could be in world 1-2, 1-3, or 1-4. It's just completely random. So you got to keep your eyes peeled for that key or chest. Sometimes you get lucky and they'll be right next to each other, so you don't have to search. In this case, I had to search a little bit, but there's definitely worse situations. Sometimes you have to use a couple bombs just to get the key or the chest. And also you're going to need paste. So find a giant spider and kill him. He gives you a decent amount of gold for killing him, and it'll give you paste, which you'll need later on. And instead of capturing damsels, I want you to sacrifice them, because if you can sacrifice 2, you'll get the Kapala cup, and that refills your health as you collect more blood. So once you're in the jungle, you're going to have to find the black market, and the thing that you got from the locked chest will help you locate it. It starts pinging or ticking whenever you get close. So you can see here I'm moving around and I keep getting ticks, so I'm trying to move closer to it. And it's ticking a little more as I get closer. You can sometimes find it even without the ticks, because it looks like there's a little garden growing out of it. Right here, it was hidden by a bunch of blocks, so I couldn't find it right away. But you can save yourself some bombs if you spot it early. And once you get to the black market, look around and see what you want to spend your money on. First of all, you're going to need the 50,000 just to buy the Ankh. So that is your priority. And it's always in the same location, down here in the bottom right. It's the only thing this shopkeeper sells. Now after this, if you have a decent run through up until this point, you should probably have about 20,000 gold. And right here, I'm just looking over the different items. Now, ideally, you want to buy more bombs, because you're going to need a lot of bombs later on. But I spotted a jetpack in the wheel game, so I'm going to go over there and try my luck with that. I played it like 5 or 6 times. Eventually I won the jetpack, so it was worth the sacrifice of taking a few less bombs for the jetpack, because the jetpack is huge. You'll definitely need that later on. You don't have to have the jetpack, because in the Hell there's a bunch of vampires and they will drop capes, so it's not necessarily needed, but it will help you out a ton if you can find a jetpack. So once you're done collecting all your items in the black market and getting hit by everything on your way out, you go on to the ice caves. And once you get to the ice caves, you need to be looking out for a stone face statue. It's pretty big, so it's hard to miss, but you do have to explore the levels. You can see it right there. And once you find that, that means you need to die in this level, and you will respawn inside the statue. That sounds crazy, but that's what you got to do. There's no other way to get to Hell without killing yourself. So once you're done exploring around, collecting all the gold, you just drop down to the bottom of the level. If you have a parachute, I wouldn't advise doing that, because you'll waste your parachute, jump onto some spikes or something. But once that happens, you spawn, the head jet drops. Don't hit right bumper right away. I've done that before, you can actually go through the door before you collect the head jet. So just take a little second and wait. Now, after you've died, your health resets at 4. So like I said earlier, you want to be sacrificing your damsels because it doesn't matter how much health you get early on. Right here is a great place to sacrifice the damsel and yetis because you can easily get the Kapala cup and refill your health. And the next thing you're going to have to do after you've collected the head jet is you have to kill Anubis. Now this is why you got paste. He's really easy to kill with paste because the bombs stick to him and your bombs are not altered by his purple craziness. You can throw things right through that. And now once you've collected the scepter, you need to take that into world 4-2. Now Anubis is always in 4-1 and he's there in 4-2 even if you don't kill him. The door that you take the scepter to won't open unless you have the head jet and the scepter. So once you're there, it'll sacrifice your scepter and in turn you'll gain access to the City of Gold. Now that's an achievement in itself. But in the City of Gold, you have to do something else to get to hell. There's a Book of the Dead that you have to collect. And once you pick that up, Anubis 2 spawns. But I'll talk about the City of Gold real quick. I think this is a slightly harder version of the temple. I feel like there's more traps, more mummies, more hawkmen, more everything. You need to keep an especially good eye out for those arrow traps because they're gold too, so they can easily go unnoticed. And if you're trying to get the 500,000 gold, this is probably the area that you want to do that too, but I'll go over that in another video. So everything you blow up turns into chunks of gold. There's the Book of the Dead. It's usually in the center of the level somewhere. And as soon as you grab it, the second version of Anubis spawns. I'm just going to make sure this caveman's dead before I mess around with him and collect his blood. See, every time you whip something, you get more blood, and it'll help you get more life. So I have 6 hearts now when I had 4. So you grab the Book of the Dead, Anubis spawns, and he just spawns red skeletons everywhere. So he's slightly easier to deal with than the first Anubis, but sometimes he goes through platforms unlike Anubis 1. But he takes just about the same amount of bombs. 2, you just stick them and there you go, you can move on. And that'll take you directly to Olmec. Now once you're at Olmec, before you start killing him, I would advise going up top and searching for extra items that you can use in hell or extra ropes that you can use to protect yourself against Olmec. Now what you have to do is find the door. See, I just saw the door at the bottom. It's never in the same spot, but it's usually somewhere in the middle. And once you find the door, you have to make Olmec kill himself directly below the door so you can stand on his head and get to the exit. Now, what I like to do here, because you can't do it the fast way, because you have to find the hole first, and you can't see the bottom without making Olmec smash some of the ground. So what I like to do is find the door and then move Olmec off to the side. Now, once he's off screen, he won't chase you anymore, so you can safely move around and examine whatever you need to. I like to make him get about halfway there and keep an open area so I don't have to worry about any of his creatures coming out and hitting me. And what you can do is you can blow up the area that he needs to fall in so he can just walk over here and fall straight down on the door. I find that a lot easier and safer than doing it the quick way because you've spent a lot of time to get this far, so you might as well be safe about it. I got this nice hole ready for him. All I have to do is step under him. And there you go. He fell all the way to the bottom. You just stand on his head, and that will take you to hell. Now, when you first get here, it's going to be shocking, like the first time you've been in any area. You may die, and it will be extremely frustrating. But if you take your time, you'll prevail. One thing I want to tell you is that there are damsels here, like that one over there, but oftentimes they're fake. So do not pick up the damsels. They turn into succubuses and kill you. If you remember earlier, I said you find plenty of capes in hell, and that is the case. You'll see vampires hanging all over the place in hell. Even if one falls on the spikes, don't worry, you'll find another vampire. Now, there's plenty of enemies in here you haven't encountered before, so if you've gotten all your journal entries up until this point, you will be able to fill it out here and get that achievement as well whenever you complete hell. And over on the right here, I didn't go in here, but that's where one more enemy and 2 more journal entries are if you want to go over there. But for the sake of this video, I didn't go over there. Now below you saw there's another vampire, and there's lots of swinging maces. You can blow those up too for another journal entry. It's really hard to find a safe area to move through. So you drop down here, there's a vampire and a bat, and then there's the swinging mace thing. So I opt for just blowing up the ground over here because that looks too hazardous. So you got to weigh your options like that. If it's not worth your life, just don't do it. Use a bomb. You can go easily around it. If you really want to go into that tower, you can approach it from the bottom, which is the hard way, or you can blow up the top, and the guy you need to kill is at the very top. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend going through here right away, because you really just want to make it through hell and back. So you just got to watch out for all these traps. Just be careful. And those doors, they look like they can kill you, but don't worry about it. They won't smash you or anything. Just go up to them and hit right bumper and go in there. At 5-2 is going to be pretty similar. Maybe a few more traps, a few more vampires. And the easiest way to kill those vampires is by whipping them and bombing them. They take quite a few hits otherwise. Even the tiki traps take like 3 hits on them. I don't like the looks of that area, so I'm just going to skip it with a bomb. Now, you need to at least get to the end of 5-3 with 1 bomb, because you'll have to kill his minions that he has with him, and they drop bombs for you. So you don't have to be too conservative, but just make sure you have 1 by the end. Like I said, don't mess with those damsels. Some of them might be real, I'm not sure. I tried to pick up one in one of my playthroughs and it killed me instantly, so I decided I'm not picking up any more damsels. And here's 5-3. Getting closer to the boss. Like I said, just take your time, look down everywhere, because you never know what's going to be below you, and it's not worth just dropping down without looking, even with a jetpack. Let's see a crate over here that's caught my eye. I want to see if there's anything in here I can use. Lots of swinging maces. There's a vampire. These guys will be quite a little problem. So the easiest way to kill him is with the bomb. But I don't really have that option. See, I've already hit that guy and whipped him, and he was hit by the mace, and he still fell down there, took a tiki trap, and still lived. So if you're going to kill him, try using the bomb, or just try to avoid him altogether. Another damsel, could be real, could be a fake. Just don't mess with it. I'm looking at all my options to making it through to the end over here. Just trying to find the exit. Right now, oh, that way is not happening. That idol, not worth it. There were like 5 maces over there swinging around. You'll certainly die if you try to mess with that thing. Now you can be touched by the chain, just not the end. And here we go. We're at the final boss. Now this is the real reason why you got paste. This guy will be much, much easier with paste. And you'll see why here in a second. Now first of all, he drops 2 minions. These are for your journal entries if you kill them. They only take 1 bomb a piece and they drop bomb bags. This is why I said you only need 1 bomb for this area. So they'll drop 12 or a total of 24 bombs. So you'll be pretty good up against this last guy. Now what he does is he slams his fists down on the ground and it drops all kinds of debris, and if it hits you on the head you fall. So you can't really climb these chains without him hitting the floor and, you know, messing you up. So you can stand over here. This is a completely safe spot. But if you try to go back up, he just hits you again. So this is why I say you almost have to have the jetpack, because you can't even really approach this guy without having a jetpack. Because look, over here I have nowhere to go. I didn't even look over on the left side, but he does this so quickly that you wouldn't even be able to get to the top without getting knocked back down by the boulders. And if you get knocked down by the boulders, you could land on those spikes. So it's pretty iffy. And right here, I just happened to land on top of the tiki traps, and his head starts going crazy. And here's the left side. Still, it would be so hard to kill this guy without a jetpack. There's just not that many ways to approach him without being able to control yourself in the air. Remember to try to stay underneath any kind of bricks so he doesn't drop debris on you. Because even I was thinking, okay, well, he doesn't have his fists anymore, but it doesn't matter. He still drops things even when nothing's there to drop them. He's just an angry head. It kind of reminds me of that milkshake from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Kind of has that same face. But anyways, once the head is just flying around, you just have to connect 1 more bomb to the head, and that will finish him. Now, what you would do if you didn't have paste, I have no idea how you could possibly even hit that guy. It doesn't look like you can jump on his head, and I can't imagine trying to whip that guy. But either way, once you beat him, you just go up to top right. The door will be there, and you got yourself the To Hell and Back Again achievement, and also you'll get the last character in the game to unlock. So it's likely you'll get the 2 achievements at the same time, maybe even more if you got all the journal entries. But that's it for this video. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.